You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. We're still reviewing what went down at the 2018 CAF Awards yesterday in Dakar, Senegal, and there were a couple of debatable choices. Kyle already mentioned the fact that the Young Player of the Year could have gone to Wilfred Ndidi. I also talked about the Coach of the Year, Harvey Reina, winning that one ahead of Aliou Cisse, but I don't think there's any more controversial than the Africa's Best 11 for 2018. We're going to run through, before we talk about that particular contentious shortlist, you can always join us on the show here on Facebook. You can hit us up on channels, _sports, if you're on Twitter, channels_sports is where you can talk to us and let us know your opinion on the 2018 CAF Awards. Let's talk about this one now, Coyote. Let's talk about the Africa's Best 11 for 2018. Let's start with the goalkeeper, Dennis Oyango, the Ugandan goalkeeper. I'm not too sure. There's a lot of people that disagree with his inclusion. Let me run through the list first of all. There's also Serge Aurier, the Ivorian, is on that list as well, to play for Tottenham Hotspur. You have Mehdi Benatia, the Tunisian, is on that list as well. So Eric Bailly, Kalidou Koulibaly made the short list as well. Naby Keita, the Liverpool Guinean midfielder, is there. Thomas Partey of Ghana, Riyad Mahrez, Mo Salah, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Sadio Mane. And no Nigerian players made the cut. That has generated quite some serious reaction on social media, because I've seen a few Super Eagles and players don't understand why a player like Wilfred Ndidi did not make the court. And Kyle, let's just dive into it. First of all, the list. Are you satisfied, or do you think certain players should have been left out while certain players should have been included?
If Benatia could be on the list, then I think William Troost-Ekong of Nigeria should be on the list as well.
Why?
Because if you're considering that it's a World Cup year, William Troost-Ekong had quite a decent World Cup showing for Nigeria. Benatia also for Morocco, but this was a player who most times came from the bench or wasn't even really involved for Juventus. And 2018 was quite a good year for William Troost-Ekong, while in Turkey, now at Udinese, playing quite regularly.
Yes.
So I thought he should have been in, especially William Troost-Ekong and Wilfred Ndidi. Some said for Wilfred Ndidi, maybe Naby Keita or Thomas Partey. But somehow, this young man just make his omission. He makes the argument quite intense that how so did he not make the starting or the top 11 in CAF if he did lose the Youth Player of the Year to Hakimi? He should have been in there at some point. Yes, you can't argue with the guys up front.
Yeah.
You have Sadio Mane, you have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Mo Salah.
The back four can be the back four.
The back, even Sergio Aurier.
I'm like,
let's
for Tottenham, right?
You know what?
How many games has he played?
It's not irregular. Obviously.
It's not irregular, even Sergio Aurier. And I'm like,
okay, let's
he makes.
And Eric Bailly, okay.
He makes the CAF 11 and the awards generally controversial somewhat. And now Eric Bailly. Someone even joked that Eric Bailly didn't even come because he wasn't even sure he was going to make the starting 11. And if only 4 of the players in the starting 11 showed up, then something just doesn't add up. I don't want to be criticizing too much, but it's
a contentious list.
It's very, very contentious.
Okay.
And the awards generally should have been better in some aspects. Yes, there was a slight improvement from last year's in terms of the order of the program. Yes, politicians try to take the shine, but when you look at the CAF 11, it's very, very contentious. It's very contentious.
Very contentious, and that's why the reaction Nigerians, obviously.
Do you want me to read some of the tweets?
Of course, why not?
Okay, why do I have to do that?
Okay, let me start first of all, since you want to go after me. Let's start with the Super Eagles player then.
Okay, now, John Ogo actually says, he says, okay, now, this is very funny. He said, let's put sentiment aside. I can argue this anywhere that Ndidi, Trust Ekong, and even Odio Igalo all should be there. Award is based on your performance for club and country and not how big of a club you play in. Ndidi plays for arguably the best league in the world. That's coming from John Ogu.
That's quite strong. I'm not too sure about Odion Igalo though. Let's move over to players, to the fans out there. We have a tweet from Oyewale Babatunde Noah. You're saying the CAF 11 was a scam and Trust Ekong deserves a place in the CB as in the centre-back position ahead of Bai. Indeed, he also deserves to be in the defensive midfield position. That's coming from Oyewale Babatunde. Also, Syria.
Okay, this one.
Okay, let me pass it on to
this
you.
one coming from Daily Politician Manners. Daily Political Manners, that's what he calls himself. He says, even by that have been on wheels all year round, is it dear? No, it will be no Musa scam of the year.
Wow.
Then this one coming from Vijay he says, okay, where is Ndidi? Nowhere to be found. The most highly rated tackle, 4, as in bracket 4, in the Premier League, he's not there. Another one, St. Philip says, it shows Africa a fraud if any Nigerian did not make the list, and they should. He's one of the best block in the midfield in the whole of Europe, the best interceptor of passes. There's so many, I mean, so many.
This has got to Nigerians on their phones like
joke of an award, and they did not even make the best 11. That's coming from Ovuda Iheche.
Rightly so. Most Nigerians follow the Premiership in England. And when the stats are read out in terms of intercepts in the league so far this season, they featured prominently. Second sometimes, most times, first on the list. And it's interesting that Nigerians also follow religiously the Serie A in Italy, the La Liga, the French Championnat, Dutch Eredivisie, and what have you. So majority of these players, they know how they fare for their clubs. And knowing that it's a World Cup year, Nigeria featured at the World Cup year. Some of the guys that sent Twitter mentioned Alex Iwobi. Ahmed Musa's goal wasn't even nominated for goal.
That's quite strange.
And that's quite strange, which makes the CAF award to cause controversy every now and then. Yes,
but we're talking about it, so I guess it's a good thing for them.
It's a good thing, yeah. I mean,
when we're talking about it, it's a good thing, but generally when you try to compare and contrast with World of Things, with the Ballon d'Or, FIFA the Best Awards, and what have you, it pales in comparison. Talking about the CAF Awards, we should be doing better.
Okay. All right, let's leave it there because, I mean, you want to read more
Just
tweets?
a couple more before we go on, yes. Oh, yes, that's true. Adams, Jay says obviously Ndidi and Trust Ekong deserve to be there, but very sad is in the past now. Let's move on by winning the AFCON in 2019. That's going to be Egypt, and that's where we're going next now. It's no longer news that Egypt have earned the right to host the 2019 AFCON. They beat South Africa after the rights were taken away from Cameroon. And Kayode, surprise, South Africa. Would you rather go to South Africa or you go to Egypt? Egypt, massive tourist.
If you want to look at the fact that South Africa hosted it in 2013, about 6 years ago, and the two frontline countries bidding for the hosting rights were both Egypt and South Africa, I want to say, okay, why not give it to another country? Egypt, they are a country that we know football is the opium of their society. They have a number of stadia, infrastructures. The tourism in the country is another attraction why people would want to go. And the atmosphere is always electric whenever it's time for national team or club-side football. Now, taking the Nations Cup back there for the first time since 2006 promises a lot of excitement. And the competition level this time around, knowing that the Pharaohs are back, who have won it a record 7 times, and they're hosting it now for the 5th time, means that it's going to be very, very, very competitive.
Egypt's favorites?
From the North Africans and even the West Africans who always measure up and find themselves in the final game or semi-finals every now and then. But I think they're deserving because they even won it 16-1 votes.
I mean, that's
It was very, very massive. It was
Okay.
obvious they wanted Egypt to host the Nations Cup, talking about the CAF Executive Board.
Absolutely, and knowing that South Africa are yet to qualify for AFCON. Let's get reaction from a board member of the Egyptian Football Federation.
Very happy, and I promise that Egypt will do will do the best to make a very good event next June and July. We have a short period, but Egypt is ready for such event. We did 5 times before, and also we did 2 World Cup for teenagers, and I promise that all the African nations will be very comfortable and will be very happy in our country. And it's good to thank you all the African nations which vote for Egypt.